All right, what's up, people? I tried to do this once before, but I hit the wrong pause button. We're going to be watching Tom LeRoy on the origins of the left-hand path, etc., etc. So I'm not going to fucking do it again. You missed out on a lot of fucking... I don't do fucking B cuts. I love the way he does this. Live commentary, by the way. Lisa, peace and blessings. Primal, by the way, means first. So, who was the first?
Now, I've used that quote often, but what does it really mean? Well, to put it simply, if you want truth, you have to go to the source. Now, granted, those early humans who drew those first images of horned deities on a cave wall are not around to be interviewed. But they're...
Now, see, this is getting interesting because, and yeah, I've seen through a little bit of this because I did make a fail video that I didn't upload because I hit the wrong pause button. I hit the wrong pause button, and it is what it is. But there are mechanisms to do that, to get back to the origination of these. And I haven't gotten as far in this video, but I'm going to go ahead and spoil something that maybe I'm not spoiling. Left-hand path, right-hand path are just two mechanisms to do one thing. And what is that thing? That thing is to unite, well, I would say the self and the other, or the self in the universe, the self in the world, however you want to fucking say it. Self and God. If you want to, you know, okay, so you have two cups. You have the cup over here and the cup over here, right? And you want to pour one cup into the other. That's all the difference is. The end point is the same, is that you have one cup with everything in it. That's my understanding, but we're going to let Tom LeRoy go. So, oh wait, see, that's where I fucked up last time.
Their spirit still lingers. Their
Hit the wrong
DNA
pause
still
button.
survives within us all, and their stories are still being told over and over again in our genetic memories. The primal is where the source is. We lived in a primitive state for hundreds of thousands of years. We've only been, quote, civilized for maybe, what, 6,000 years?
Like 12,000 more.
Is our natural state.
Some would argue
We are
24,000.
savages at our core, barbarians pretending to be cultured. The human spirit cannot and has never been fully domesticated. We're like that wild beast forced to perform in a circus. When in truth,
Everything is
our
a wild
natural
beast.
propensity is to the savage, which should be blatantly obvious.
No, it definitely is.
But who is forcing the beast to perform?
No one. The beast itself.
Many of us have left the confines
It's a self-replicating,
of the circus, but
self-replicating
still have not
mechanism.
returned to the wild. But you may ask, how can we return? We've been away for so long. Well,
No.
one way of getting in touch with our
We just changed the nature of the game.
is through ritual.
This might be where I disagree a little bit.
There are some who believe that the act of ritual may have begun with art. I find this notion fascinating because ritual done right is truly an art form.
I would argue it's
Now,
the reverse,
going way
but
back, there was, let's say, Homo erectus who took up a bone or a stick and with a jagged rock etched a simple design upon it in order to convey that which rested within the depths of its psyche.
exactly. That was my point when I said I
May
would
have done
reverse
this
it.
subconsciously, even the better, thus initiating that first engagement with the transcendental. This somewhat innocuous act.
I appreciate your Jungian analysis, I really do, but I think you overstate Jung, just like I think a lot of people, and not you, I'm not talking about you, Tom, but I think a lot of people really overstate Freud. Like, I got into one thing, sidebar, I got into one thing with one guy on the internet, and the whole fucking thread disappeared because I said that I thought that Freud's most problematic, theory was penis envy. And then this guy replied back to me and said that, yeah, well, toxic masculinity is a problem. And I'm like, you don't even know what penis envy is, do you? It's not that at all. It's the fact that women, in theoretical Freudian terminology, regret the fact that they don't have a penis, and that's problematic to them psychologically. But you know what? I'm not going to do too much of this. I'm going to hit the right pause button, not the pause button on my phone.
To open the door, just a crack to the spirit world, allowing it to take a brief peek inside.
And spirit world is somewhat problematic, but I'll leave you alone with that because
But the
there's
best
a
evidence
couple
of
ways to
true
define that.
early ritual among archaic humans was in their burial practices, where pendants and beaded necklaces have been found, thus proposing the idea that they had some concept
That they
of
could take it
afterlife.
with them, yeah.
Next would come the Paleolithic cave paintings, where one would physically have to venture into the depths to then psychologically venture into the depths by depicting
Of Hades,
beasts or
exactly.
maybe even a
Which gets to the
horned
Persephone
on a
myth.
cave wall.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched this video before, so I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just reacting at the time I'm watching it.
And they may have
This is a Tom
participated in
LeRoy
acts of
video.
sensorial spectacle in the caves or possibly around the fires, such as singing, drumming, dancing, ingesting hallucinogenic
Hold on, let me fucking, because I fucked this up earlier. I haven't watched this video yet. This was on my play later list, and it goes up. Like, if you add to play later, it goes down. So like sometimes I'll start here and I'll just go down, and most of them are like 2.5 hour videos and shit. And so it's like, I didn't get back to this. I was like, oh shit, I still have this on my play later. I didn't watch this. This is Tom LeRoy talking about who was the first to walk the left-hand path. I need to make a fucking video on this. I need to make sure I don't hit the wrong fucking pause button, because I did that already. I got to pause on my phone and I got to pause on this. And I fucking did the wrong one earlier, so you lost the whole fucking video. No, I only got about this much through it, so.
Procedures in order to bring about altered states of consciousness.
I think it's very interesting that we get most of our altered states of consciousness through plants, but go ahead.
As we continue along this prehistoric timeline, we come across what are known as the Venus figurines, such as the Venus of Willendorf. Estimated to be from 25 to 30,000 years old, this Venus, with her exaggerated female sexual
Fertility
parts,
deity, sure.
possibly represents an early fertility deity,
Oh, shit.
or perhaps even a mother goddess.
Yes. Exactly. Again, I haven't seen this. I'm not spoiling anything.
Similar figures were found, which turned out to be linked to the construction of some of the earliest stone buildings in the world. These temples and the burial chambers related to those figurines contained many images of obese humans, some no larger than a few inches. Others giant size, as well as images of animals and phallic symbols. Understand that prehistoric cults
In the
were
Ice
radically
Ages, you would have to be
different in various
obese to
societies.
survive.
For example, the cults of domestic
Like polar
life were
bears.
distinct
No,
from
not polar
cults of
bears.
death
Bears.
and burial.
When they hibernate. They go in fat, they come out
And,
skinny.
as expected, the characteristics of these early religions and spiritual beliefs transformed in the Proto-Neolithic and Neolithic periods. An example would be animals, and those viewed as the essence of higher beings, especially eagles, falcons, and ravens.
Of
became
course.
very important.
Because they can fucking fly like Superman, bro.
Into true animal cults. Hoofed creatures, especially sheep and oxen.
I'm gonna stop you there, bro. If you don't mention wolves, I'm gonna fucking downvote this video, bro. If you don't mention wolves, I'm gonna downvote this video. But I never downvote your video. I think I already gave it a thumbs up.
Played an important
Even though I didn't
part
watch
in
it yet.
sacrificial rites, and bulls especially, which were seen as symbols of masculinity.
Tell me about how you made the wolf into a dog.
As domesticated animals and also as sacrifices.
Here we go.
Near the end of the Neolithic period. And this brings us to animism. Animism in its many complex forms is in some ways still the
I would disagree. I would say animism was there from the beginning, but go ahead.
underlying dominant religious or spiritual tradition across all cultures.
Everything has a spirit,
Now,
yes.
a simplistic definition of animism would be that it is the belief in spiritual beings, or that it's the common religion amongst the world's simple-minded indigenous cultures because they're not sophisticated enough or smart.
You could also argue that it's everything is divine, but then you get trading into terminologies, which I'm sure he's going to get into because Thomas is fucking super smart. Animism is the idea that everything has a spirit, which is a moving fucking energy that basically, like even a rock or a toad or whatever the fuck. Let him go.
To be monotheists. Now, the word animism comes from the Latin anima, meaning breath or soul, and it's been asserted and argued that all religions, from the simplest to the most complex, involve some form of animism. According to the
I could take either
19th
side
century
on that.
definition, animism is the belief that nature is animated, that all things
Well, it
have
kind of
souls,
is.
that the world is replete with awareness, inhabiting rocks, trees,
Yes.
storms. you
I
name
wouldn't
it.
say rocks. I don't know about that, but yeah.
When first studied, animism seemed to be the key to understanding the so-called primitive mind, the human intellect at the earliest knowable stage of cultural evolution. Many today, though, consider this view to be rooted in a profoundly mistaken premise because, in truth, animism is a bit more complicated than that.
It
Because
is.
the religious or spiritual ideas of the hunter-gatherers interviewed during the 19th, 20th, and 21st centuries have been far from simple. For maybe the past 70 years or so, all cultures and religious practices have been regarded by
stop this.
anthropologists as
Let me stop this for a second. We're only halfway through, not even halfway through. This is going to be a long video. He's right, because so like cultural, how should I put this? Cultural memory. The idea that, how long did it take us to understand that certain herbs were good for curing certain things? We've forgotten a lot of that in the modern world. So I hope Tom gets to this, but yeah, there's a reason why history works. It's kind of like it goes like this. It's a sine curve, not a sine curve, but it might as well be. But it's kind of like a logarithmic curve. But go ahead. Tom, you're fucking on point, as usual. Any criticism I give you is always out of, fucking respect. Because you're normally 99% correct, so let's go.
Being comparable, as in reflecting a fully evolved human intelligence. Simply put, animistic cultures are no less sophisticated spiritually than any other. Yes, animists accept that all things are non-human persons with whom one may develop a relationship, but at the same time, not all these souls are equal. Some cultures, for instance, saw the oak as sacred above all other trees, while some may have regarded features of the environment to be non-human relatives or ancestors.
Bring up the wolf, bro. Where's the wolf?
Have descended.
Come on, Tom.
Now, in animism, there is no single creed or doctrine.
Exactly.
There is no pope. It's a view of the world consistent with a
There's even no
certain
pope in
range of
Catholic
religious beliefs and practices, many of which may still linger in the, quote, more complex and sophisticated religions. Back a few hundred years ago, when Europeans settled or conquered the Americas and parts of Africa and Asia, what they first learned of the traditions and beliefs of the indigenous folk often came by way of the Christian missionaries. One favorite
Those are Franciscans, by the way. You can tell by their caskets.
Inuits in what is now the Yukon. The missionary revealed the word of the Lord, telling these poor heathens about God, Jesus, heaven, and hell, and how if they don't believe and pray to the Lord, they will burn in a lake of fire for eternity.
They thought it was a good idea.
The chief of this band of Inuits looked at the man and asked, "What if we never knew this? Would your God have sent us to hell? Meaning, are all my ancestors now burning in a lake of fire?" The missionary thought for a moment, then said, "No, the Lord wouldn't do that. He's a compassionate God." The chief responded with,
Oh, Christianity is retarded. We all know this.
Anyway, being unsympathetic to what was regarded as primitive superstitions, the monotheism of the Christians.
He left out the part about the fucking fact that they said we welcome that. Dude, I thought they said that like that would be a good thing because they're cold all the time. So like you want to put me in a lake of fire, that would sound nice. I thought he was going to get to that.
Because of this idea of reward or punishment, heaven or hell.
Yeah, it's stupid.
The notion of oneness with nature that is found in animism does not matter to them.
Animism.
Thus, that connection with the carnal was or is broken within the hearts and minds of the Abrahamists. Now, who or what is the
Well, I would even argue that, hold on, let me give you a second. I would even argue that the whole concept of Abraham and the religions that surround him, meaning Judaism, Christianity, Islam, JCI, I would even argue that that's a fucking fiction. I think we're, like I said, comic books.
Between this level of reality and that of the higher and lower planes, and who is that which takes on the malevolent spirits?
Let me stop. This is why I'm a Buddhist. It's because Buddhism explains all of this shit. It explains, like, okay, for example, animism. Animism is the idea that everything has a spirit or a soul or whatever. Not everything does. But the fact is that sentient beings, those are, well, I mean, it should be self-obvious what I'm fucking talking about. Those beings are all one being. Crossed through time, spread out through time. Like you can imagine, like a vessel breaks over through time, like atemporally, and it's like the shards spread everywhere. And then everything works as it does. There, I just gave you the highest teaching.
This would be the shaman.
The one who can cross
Their
worlds.
duties go beyond that of the common holy man or woman, for they become
No, it's the one who can
with
cross
the
worlds.
vital forces of nature and beyond. They are healers, prophets, diviners, and guardians of religious lore.
Psychopomps.
Their remedies may be ritualistic
It's their
cleansing
primary
or
duty.
the overpowering of negative forces.
Not really.
They may be called upon to
Sometimes they
discover that
amplify
which
those.
offended the animal spirits, or do spiritual battle with a rival shaman who is doing harm to the tribe. They are consulted at times of
Crowley versus Mathers.
misfortune,
All right.
natural causes
Am I correct?
recognized
Crowley versus
for many
Mathers.
diseases, but others were questionable. Treatment of these illnesses is dictated by the shaman's guardian spirit, which could consist of him or
Okay,
her
let me stop here for a
ritually
second.
sucking the
Let me stop here for a second. I don't know where he's going to go with this because I haven't watched this before, but let me say this. A shaman is always someone who is physically deformed or weak, that is outcast by the society. And by being outcast by the society, he is spiritualized. This is, I really recommend, and there's a book I could recommend on this, but it's dry as fuck and you would not like it. But it's Eliade's Shamanism, okay? This tends to only take place within certain tribes within northern Eastern Europe, the Tunguska, people. What happens is that you have somebody that is so they have a deformity, some kind of physical deformity that does not allow them to be a part of the normal fucking tribe. So then they have to go out to a place, they have to suffer an ordeal, then they get brought back in, and then they're now, because they are close to death, they are a spiritual leader. That's shamanism. I just broke it down for you, and I know he's breaking it down for you too, but I'm just breaking it down. Dude, I love Tom LeRoy. This video is fun. I'm having fun with this.
disease agent out of the body, brushing it off with a bird's wing, or drawing it out with dramatic motions. But sometimes illness can come from spirit loss.
The
Thus,
illness
the
is,
shaman would have to go on an astral journey.
you got it backwards,
recover
Tom.
the patient's
Sorry,
spirit,
this one you got backwards.
reintroduce it into the body.
You got it backwards, bro.
They are the lifeblood of their communities.
Yes,
Their
they
wisdom
are,
is
but
boundless, and their connection to the spirit world is as solid as their connection to this reality.
they're cast
They
out
are
first.
people
You,
chosen by their tribe to partake in this venture,
Mm-hmm.
this lifelong commitment to be they. who
You're
open
kinda
the
getting it,
doors
but you're
to
kinda
other
not.
worlds as a sacred duty to their community.
yes and no. Dude, I love what you're saying.
Now,
You're
I'm gonna go
99% there, bro.
here, so bear with me.
Oh, I'm
I
bearing.
hold great respect for these individuals, the real shamans.
I'm waiting
but I
for you to
have
mention a
none of
wolf.
the bullshit artists, those who take the name shaman and bastardize it for some
White people?
recognition or a few bucks.
No.
I may not look it, but I, like many Americans, have some indigenous DNA. No, I'm not Cherokee like so many of you claim to be. My great-grandmother was an indigenous Mexican of the Tohono O'odham, which in English means people of the desert.
Peace and
the
blessings.
Sonoran Desert.
Peace and
But I won't
blessings.
sit here and declare I know what it feels like to be of native stock or
Because
have
you
dealt with
don't.
the hardships of living on a reservation. But there is something in me that gets riled when I see these frauds, these
1000%,
plastic
bro.
shamans trying to sell their hippie
This is why I love you,
nonsense.
Tom.
Some of these fucks really think they are shamans.
He said some of these
They're
flocks.
delusional. Others
100%,
know
bro.
they're pretending, do it out of greed. The former should be locked up in a mental hospital. The latter should be in jail. But I digress.
You digress, bro.
Shamans were associated with powers usually thought to be beneficial to the community, but were believed in some
They were
cases
psychopomps.
to use their powers for sorcery.
Their primary
This is
role
when we get to the
was
question asked in the title of the video.
between the
Who was the
life and
first
death.
to walk the left-hand path?
I don't know.
Now, to answer this question, we have to go to contemporary animistic cultures where they have a form of witchcraft. No, not modernity.
No. I gotta stop this. Hold on. Don't redefine witchcraft. I think you're getting ready to redefine witchcraft. Don't do that. Come on, please, bro.
In certain individuals, a psychic.
The entire
essence,
idea
if
of
you
witchcraft is a psycho fucking
will.
like
But to those of the community
operation.
at large, it's an illness, a spiritual illness, and if one is ill, they need to be healed.
Yes. That's what I was saying. That's what I'm talking about when I was talking about the psychopomp.
Illness, of course, is detrimental to not only the afflicted person, but also
Yes.
to the whole tribe. Out of fear, it could spread like
Exactly.
virus.
Now you're
Now,
getting it.
Let's go back in time, let's say 50,000 years, to an animistic tribal society where you find a shaman.
It might be
afflicted
nice, but we
by
can't do
this
that.
Witchcraft.
Don't
This man,
don't
though,
what
has a different
dude, stop. Witchcraft. What the fuck does that even mean? Witchcraft. What does that even fucking mean? See, I think you got to be careful about how you use your terms.
He absorbs this essence brought upon him by a current, a flow of psychic energy. He accepts it, not as deleterious, but as beneficial. It's empowering. It gives him a sense of wonder, of limitless possibilities, because he is no longer restrained by the rudimentary dictates of the
Comic
tribe.
book.
This is the first time in his life he feels fully liberated. Understand, this is a man.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this, and I'm not asking you, Tom, because I don't expect you to answer me, but one of the people that, okay, how should I put this? Time magic, meaning projecting yourself back into time. That is possible, and I've done it. And one of the people that, hold on, let me fucking try to find this book. I'll get back to Tom. Don't worry about it. This is going to be a long video. I already told you it's going to be a long video. Let me go to my left-hand path fucking section. Let me find this book. We got to find it. Here it is. We got to move Wonder Woman out the way. Let's slide her over. Oh, shit. She fell over. Let's fucking do that. Is this book? It's called The Lucifer Diaries. It's by Robert Williamson. It doesn't, does it? Yeah, you can't fucking see it. For fuck's sake. Do I need to turn the light on? Oh, there's your ISBN, so you can fucking get it. This is an idea of a magical working where he's basically... Where did I get this from? Well, don't worry. I'll put it back, okay? The Lucifer Diaries by Roger Williamson. And this is what he does is he has a magical working where he basically uses dream time technologies in order to project himself back through time. This is time magic. I just want to know if Tom knows what's up with this. So, where the fuck did I put that fucking shit? You see what I'm saying? This is where we start getting goofy. But we're not getting goofy. We're going to play Tom. Let's go, Tom.
Mask of the current that predates Ahriman, Set, or Shiva by thousands of years. This is darkness manifests, a new mask of the archetype, which has emerged from the collective unconscious in order to enact chaos. But chaos is not always bad.
Let me stop you. The entire point behind magic is names. So if you have no names, you have no power, you have no magic. If you can't do what I just fucking showed you, then what do you have?
Bad thing, because
Magically.
when the soul or psyche of a community becomes stagnant, a fire has to be lit, and some destruction needs to take place. Not in the physical realm,
Agni?
but in the soul of the tribe.
Hindu god of fire? I don't know.
Because what comes after this chaotic stage is growth. For an extreme example,
Actually,
Europe,
I would disagree. I would say it's fallowness and then growth.
if it wasn't for the Black Death of the 14th century, which resulted in wide...
Oh shit, don't get me started on the Black Death. You know that came from the fact that Europeans, Christians, thought cats were a fucking disease because they were witches, pets. So they got rid of the cats. Then that made the mice run wild, or rats, or whatever the fuck. But in Muslim territories, because it's the founder of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, loved cats. They didn't have that problem. Go look that up. Go look it up. Black Death, Islam, cats. Look it up. You'll be surprised. I'm telling the fucking truth.
Ranging social, economic, cultural, and religious changes, there wouldn't have been the Renaissance of the 15th century. This is the spark of divine madness needed to disrupt the soul to bring about...
The divine
liberation.
cannot be mad by definition. It's perfectly rational.
Amongst the gods, this can be seen in the actions of both Shiva, the destroyer, and Kali. And here we have not only the first person on the left-hand path, but the birth of witchcraft as
Kali.
an art form.
I wish, dude, Kali is, in my opinion, the best of the deific masks of the master. Why? It's the most pure. It's guttural. But hey, you're hitting on that.
But a shaman wants to retain that sense of power, of oneness, not with the collective, but with the divine spark within, with that black flame. It's now more than an essence. It is a flow that can be channeled through the kinetic
It's your
activities
blood.
of the individual for the benefit of oneself.
It's not more complicated than you want to make it.
And for thousands of years, it continued as such,
Yes.
outrageous, transgressive, and antithetical
maybe.
to the norms of conventional beliefs. And thus are the origins of the occult sciences, the eternal natural law.
I think the
which
current is a sine
all
wave.
but destroyed by
It
the
goes up and
Abrahamic
down, up
forces.
and down, up and down. You got to figure out where you are on the curve.
But witchcraft, that which originated
Man.
as a heterodox...
I don't believe in.
animism,
Hey, let me
left-hand
stop that.
path,
Let me
if
stop
you
that.
will,
Hold on. I don't believe that term witchcraft means anything. But anywho,
has unfortunately been made soft and pathetic by the weak souls of the modern world.
I agree with you on that. You showed a fat girl.
And so, my
1000%,
friends, there you
bro.
have it. One man's interpretation of what may have happened. My personal hypothesis, if you will. Leave your comments down below.
I'm not going to leave a comment down below. I'm going to leave you a fucking video response, which is what I'm making now, and it's 34 minutes in. Let me tell you what. Cain was the first. The first time sin is mentioned in the Bible, it's with response to Cain. What did Cain do? He murdered his brother. Get back to that. That's the origin. But, you know, that's a myth as well. So it's not a literal story. I don't think there is a literal story. We can't dig that deep into the bones. But we can understand what we are, Tom, and you know this, and you've pretty much said this in your video. we're fucking, how should I put this? Pugnacious. We're always going to fight each other till the strongest man survives. The left-hand path isn't a thing. It's a vector of a thing that's larger than this. The current is not, how should I put this? Let me put it like this. As Nietzsche said, the strongest will survive. That's it. So, I mean, hey, look, dude. I mean, anybody can beef with anybody else. One guy's going to win, one guy's going to lose, or everybody's going to walk home and suck on lollipops. Bro, this has been fun. If this is not my most viewed video, I will be surprised. I really do appreciate that video, Tom. Dude, bro, you did a great job with that. I disagreed with you on some points, but a lot of what you said was awesome. At the end of the day, you got to handle your shit. And you can put mythology around that all day long. And it's fun sometimes because, hey, man, that can empower you. Back when they used to paint themselves. And like Luke, like I paint myself red on my face like this way. Like I do, like this way on my face. I paint it on Luke, right? Because I'm representing that. This is Scottish. I don't fucking know. Because I ain't that. We're fighting a new war now. And we got to figure out that battle. That makes any fucking sense, Tom, bro. I appreciate this video. Man, this has been one of my best experiences. I didn't make a 35 fucking minute video. Wait, 38 minute video. Because, I don't have no appreciation for you, bro. You're one of the leaders, man. Me? I sit on the sidelines. Because that's where you can catch somebody on their 18 and fucking stab them. But, dude, don't say that. Don't call HR on me.